Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Will. Today, we're going to be going over our November week 3 watch list. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. So, we're going to talk about first the tech stocks that I've added to this list. You're going to see there's 9 stocks. In total, this makes up about 5 top stocks that you might want to look at. Now, for those of you guys that are wondering, what is the number one thing that determines how these stocks make it onto the top week 3? There is a few things. The first thing I do is I look for AI and technology driven companies. I think that is where the most growth is being experienced in 2024 into 2025. And here in November and December, AI stocks are just the absolute best way to grow your portfolio. That's what has allowed me to grow my portfolio by over 100%. And it's one of the best ways that people in our Stockmate community, where we go live every morning at market open, are able to grow their accounts. So we always focus on AI and tech stocks, but there's another criteria. The other criteria that we look for is these are not just lottery pick, right? That's the thing about stocks. People think I'm going to pick this and it's going to pump or it's going to go up. And I get it. Like, you can focus on stocks like that, but a lot of times those types of stocks are going to be the riskiest types of stocks. And so what I focus on is stocks that are consistently reporting positive earnings, that are making money on a consistent basis, meaning they're cash flowing. If you're going to buy an asset, would you rather that the asset is maybe shows potential, it possibly could cash flow, or would you rather buy an asset and immediately know that that asset is cash flowing, immediately know that that asset is producing money? Well, that's one thing I look at. I want to buy companies that are already producing great cash flow. And so it's better to buy a company that you know is going to grow and trade that, as opposed to a company that's already a bad asset and you're trying to trade that. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster, right? So this is what we focus on. So the first one that I have here that I was looking at was Hood stock. Okay. Google is on there. Robinhood stock is one of those stocks that I think is a great pick this week. Couple reasons why. We have seen it kind of pull back and consolidate. It went up to $35 a share and it's pulled back quite a bit. The thing is they just produced hundreds of millions of dollars by doing that thing where you could bet on either side of the polls. So when they put that in, you could spend, I think it was like 50 cents for Trump's side and 50 cents for Kamala's side. And that money that you put in, 50% of those people, they lost, right? So a lot of people lost money and Robinhood made a lot of money. And so that was something I think they did that was really smart. They also are matching all 401ks or Roth IRAs that roll over into their Roth IRA accounts. So that's a big thing as well. So Robinhood stock, I think they're a great stock. They recently pulled back. I could see them getting to $40 or $50 a share. So I would look to either sell some puts or potentially buy earlier in the week. Google stock, you guys are watching this on YouTube most likely. They are at a support. So Google stock has been seen at levels of $182 a share. We can see this clear support line, and they're right at $172 a share. YouTube and Google, even with ChatGPT becoming kind of like how I use Google, Google has a tremendous advantage with YouTube, and YouTube is watched by 2 billion people every single day. So I see it as a growing cash flowing company. Could see them recover. That would be about an 8% recovery. I also put in for Google, you can go trade GOOX. So that 8% recovery would be a 16% recovery. So that's GOOX. The other one we have on the watch list is Meta. Simply put, Meta is a cash flowing company. They've been making a tremendous amount from their ads, but they're also becoming more of an AI player. And they recently kind of pulled back. We see them at this previous support here. There's a support at 550, or there's a support right there at 550. And then right now we're at 554. So kind of at that support. I could see overall, if we look on Meta, they're an uptrending company. think they recently pulled back. A lot of times when we see them pull back, they're kind of going to bounce. Other thing is this previous resistance, right? What happens? Previous resistance oftentimes acts as a support. So this was a previous resistance here that it's at. So I think it's probably going to bounce. It's probably going to continue up. And we actually already saw that start to happen on the 14th, right? So on Friday, we saw that kind of bounce. So it was down, but it's still looking kind of bullish. So Meta is a stock that I would say tremendous gains over the past year, but it's one that we want to see this week as a tech company that could grow. I got some coffee, guys, so I'm gonna get some coffee. Today I'm working on moving some stuff. We're working on a project, kind of real estate type of project, and so now going to be doing that today. So I just got 2 more stocks to get through here, and then we'll wrap up here. So Nvidia. So Nvidia is a stock that has continually trended up because why? They supply all of the microchips and the GPUs for companies like Tesla, for companies like Apple. And so that's a big player in the AI space. You had xAI, which is a big company from Elon, recently purchased, I don't know the exact number, but it was a tremendous amount of NVIDIA microchips. Same thing with X, as in Twitter. They've been learning with AI as well. We saw them pull back. They're still very bullish, but this is like one of those companies. Like, they are tremendously cash flowing. So there's not really a bad time to buy them. But if you were to trade them on the shorter term and they were still looking very bullish, well, we could kind of have that same bull case here. They were at a resistance. You see this resistance right here at $134 a share. They pulled back and bounced at that 134, pushed back up, and then bounced at 140. So maybe they sell off a little bit more before continuing up. But I see NVIDIA as a stock that will continue up, that will be a company that, I mean, they're the #1 company by market cap in the world. And you might say, well, oh, I don't want to buy. They're already at the top. Well, hey, again, stocks aren't a lottery pick. You could look at a company like Apple. I don't know how many years they were at #1, Excuse me. So, NVIDIA, really, really great pick for this week. I'm going to be looking at NVIDIA. Could be selling some calls that are around like 150, 148. Probably 150. And then also, if you were trading NVIDIA, feel free to check out NVDX. That one goes up 2% every time. This one goes up 1%. So I would look at NVIDIA as one of our top tech picks for this week. Now, what about Palantir? This is another tech company that has been growing significantly and has been reporting positive earnings. So similar to what we're talking about, we're not looking for lottery picks, we're looking for quality companies. Palantir is providing all of the software, okay, that uses AI to essentially increase the effectiveness of any company. So you can have, they're working with Boston Hospital, they're working with the United States government on their military, they're working with TSA and border security. But also outside of the government, you had a lot of companies using Palantir, like Amazon recently partnered with Palantir for AWS, which is their biggest software division, really one of the biggest software divisions in the world at Amazon there. So they recently pushed up quite a bit, right? And we see them very bullish. They had pulled back quite a bit to, or not a lot, but down here to $97. And I actually bought, and now it's up to $106. It was a small position, a tiny trade on Friday. We're up about $300 on the day. And we saw it recover, continue its direction. It's at 106 at 5 p.m. on Sunday. The pre-market hours open in the stock market. What does that mean? Well, that means you're going to start to see movement here in the stock market right at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. here. I can show you guys. So the other day, which was the 11th. Okay, so the 11th was last Sunday. You can see that at right here. Oh, 1 a.m. maybe. Is that right? 1 a.m. 1 a.m. on Sunday. 1 a.m. So it will be 1 a.m. Excuse me, 1 a.m. tonight, which um, will be 4 a.m. On Monday. So keep that in mind. Sorry about that. 4 a.m. pre-market opens. I was getting confused. I was in Miami. That's where I was living, and I was also in Colombia. I was in Argentina for a few months, and now I just got back to California for a little bit. So now, anyway, 4 a.m. pre-market opens. I think that we're going to see some really volatile movements right at pre-market, and I'm going to be looking at Palantir. I think, look, if they continue this upward direction, they could be at $111 on this stock. Oh, and just to clarify, I'm looking at PTIR, which is the same as Palantir, but it goes up 2% every time Palantir goes up 1%. Okay, so again, we see Palantir out at this all-time high, and you might say, Will, looks really risky. I don't know about Palantir. Isn't it overvalued? Well, their cash flows and their revenue were good. Their earnings, they beat. And they also were a company that has been growing in market cap. They're ranked 70th in the world in market cap. And we could see them as a top 20 company in the world, which would put them at about a 3x their current price. So their current underlying share price is $66. We could see them go between $150 and $200 a share. So I could see that happen here for the AI and tech company. And again, we're not just buying because of speculation. You know, we can go look at a lot of the financials, the fundamentals, and that's what's driving these companies on this list. Okay. So aside from Palantir, the last one I have here is Tesla, TSLA. Tesla is an interesting one because it recently pulled back from a high of 366 down to 320, right? So about a 12.5% decrease. It recently started to push back up, so not showing total sell-off, actually starting to recover, and what could mean that we're going to see the continued overall direction of upwards, maybe up to, let's say right now it's ranked number 7 on market cap. What if it gets up to, back into being number 1 or number 2 in the world as a company, which we could see happen? That would put the company really, around $500 a share, maybe $550 a share. When that will happen, I'm not sure, but I know that they had this earnings call back here. So this was some speculation sell-off. People sold off after the Robotaxi event. So not really a real solid financial reason or anything like that. They just, it looked maybe over-promising. There was Optimus robots. They were wondering if it was all AI or if some of it maybe was human controlled and things like that. And they were saying that they didn't introduce the new Model 2. They just introduced the Robotaxi. Yes, they introduced the Robotaxi, but in their earnings reports, they had they had outlined that they are still bringing the Model 2 to market at that lower price point that's more affordable. So that was kind of a catalyst. So they kind of consolidated after that Robotaxi event, then pushed up after earnings. So earnings, there was 2 things. It was that they are doing the Model 2, and then the last thing that increased their share price was that they have amazing gross margins. So to produce a car, they've created these systems that are so efficient that you would be amazed at how fast they can make a car. It's like seconds or minutes. And the amount of spend and money that they now are using after many years of tweaking and making like tweak after tweak and struggling with using robots to construct the vehicles. And now they're at a point where it costs them such a small amount of money to make a vehicle that their margins, when they sell, their profit margins have increased tremendously. So if I'm not mistaken, their earnings were about the same. They weren't massively increased. However, their gross margins went up tremendously, which was the main catalyst for why their company continues to grow. So that's kind of the name of the game. They pushed up tremendously, and that was a catalyst. And then of course we saw another catalyst on November 5th, right? So after the elections, that was a big piece for TSLA. That was one of the things that you guys saw from a fundamental standpoint. You had a lot of involvement, and so you kind of expect that to happen. We saw it sell off quite a bit from 370 down to what is 300, and then back up to 317, 320 right now. But again, I have it here. It's last on my watch list. I think this pullback is healthy and that we will see it continue up. But still, I'm a little more interested in some of these stocks in the 1 to 10. But still, very, very interested. Will most likely trade it. And when I do, I'll trade TSLL. So that's the 2%, the 2x of TSLA. So hopefully this has been valuable for you guys. Again, these are the top 5, top 6 stocks for November week 3 in the tech and AI space. If you guys want to watch me trade live at market open tomorrow and get to see me trade these stocks right in front of you, and you'd like to surround yourself with other investors and traders, I would encourage you guys to simply take a look at that second link down below. That's StockMate. Right now we have a sale for the holidays. If you'd like to get in and you'd like to get about 70 plus lessons on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and then get to watch me trade live every single morning. Again, just a friendly reminder, it's that second link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.